I swear to God, Vince did not, bro. That's how Vince's sense of humor worked. Like Vince thought that was 1000% harmless. Now I'm not saying it was, I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying to Vince, he thought that was funny. So that's what we're really talking about here. We're talking about one guy, and we're talking about Vince McMahon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the next topic of the night. Let's talk about Booker T, man, and Swerve Strickland, man. It's been a thing, man. It's been, again, talking points, man. The pro wrestling field, I mean, it's similar to pop culture and celebrity gossip and all that stuff, man. It's just, pro wrestling is so much like that too. Let's talk about Booker T and Swerve Strickland because it's the hottest thing going on right now in the past week. So for those living under, say that again, East.
I'm living under a rock. So tell me, at last night, I mean, I've only seen Booker be positive to Swerve in the past. I don't know what's going on. So
yeah, you're too busy writing that book, man. So, and that's actually a good thing. It's actually write a book, pay attention to the goings on of pro wrestling gossip. I don't think that's a very leveled scale there. I think it's pretty clear on the one end. So let's talk about Booker T and Swerve Strickland. So basically what happened is Booker T said he was treated fairly in WWE, but Swerve Strickland took exception to him saying this. This is Vlad TV interview that he was a part of. When AEW Dynasty went off the air, he went as far as to say F Booker T. Booker T allegedly even confronted Swerve. He said, I told Swerve Strickland to his face how disappointed I am in him as a young brother, because all I did for Swerve Strickland ever was put him over and put him on a pedestal as being one of the best out there that ever did it. He deserves being the AEW champion. And for him to say something like that about me, I don't know if these guys think racism stopped in 1990 when I got in the business, but it didn't. And then he responded to the F Booker T comment saying this. He said, woke up this morning and I wondered, why is my name trending? I see the video of Swerve Strickland saying F Booker T at the end of Dynasty. I'm not going to even get upset about it. I'm going to give Swerve Strickland a little bit of advice, just a little bit. That advice would be, don't be talking about something other than the pay-per-view at the end of the night. That's the main event and the last thing people are going to remember. The last people are going to remember is me, my name being said. I'm sure Tony Khan doesn't appreciate the news, the headline not being what happened at Dynasty with all the matches. They're talking about Booker T. That's a bad move, man. How about you? What say you, EC3, about that?
I would say Tony Khan being upset about people not talking. No, he's probably on Reddit saying, "Oh, what did Swerve say this? What did he say that? Oh, man, what did Booker say?"
Yep. Very nice. I like that.
I don't know the relationship, and as far as I said, I've seen Booker put him over, and Booker's always been, like he's a trailblazer, broke the ground, great champion, great legacy. I don't know why Swerve said F Booker, though. Is there any context behind that?
Well, Booker T put WWE over as far as treating him, as a minority wrestler well, and Swerve just wasn't a fan of that. He didn't agree, and that caused a back and forth. Well, really one-sided, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Booker has probably been through, I don't know, trying times within the realms of race relations and racism, possibly. Not saying anybody who hasn't. I think it was harder to break in back then, and it was probably more prevalent. And I think Booker has done a great job conducting himself and how he portrayed himself on television he wasn't a black champion. He was a champion, So he's speaking from his experience. And if he said the WWE treated him right, I'm sure not every day was rosy. I'm sure there was things that didn't go well, but in the overall grand scheme of things, I mean, Booker T's life is Booker T's life led, so he would know how to feel and how he felt treated, and he spoke what he believes to be his truth, and it is his. So to say F somebody's truth, I don't agree with, but it's also not my place to agree or disagree.
There you go. Vince Russo, what say you, man?
Well, bro, I think we're missing a beat in this story. And the beat in the story was, Swerve, kind of talked about racism and WWE not being fair. And Booker came back and said, I was there and they were very, very fair. Right. And then Swerve came back and mentioned the skit about Vince using the N-word. What about that? Yeah. But you see, what Swerve doesn't understand is, bro, you have to know Vince. Yeah. To Vince, bro, Vince thought that was funny. I swear to God, Vince did not. Bro, that's how Vince's sense of humor worked. Like Vince thought that was 1,000% harmless. Now, I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying to Vince, he thought that was funny. So that's what we're really, really talking about here. We're talking about one guy, and we're talking about Vince McMahon. The sad thing is, though, bro, what Booker is saying about all they're going to remember is they're going to forget the pay-per-view. They're going to remember F Booker, this and that. He's 100% right about that, Chris. They don't care about that anymore. Yeah. They don't care, bro. If Vince McMahon were working and somebody did that, they'd be fired. They don't care about that anymore. Tony Khan's not looking at it that way at all.
Yeah, he's looking at the fact that he's getting clicks and retweets and all that.
Exactly, he is, bro.
My advice to wrestlers: take it or leave it, because you can think what you want to think or say what you want to say about me. But any of these things you want to do or to get attention, or these things that will cause buzz, you can do, and I'm encouraging you to do them. But you can always tie it back into the product or what you need to sell or promote or your brand. So F Booker itself stands alone as a personal comment publicly made to another man, whereas F Booker can play into a thing, and just like I did this at Dynasty and this in Dynasty, I can tell anybody to F off, and you know what, F Booker too. So the context kind of lies in, well, he did all that at the pay-per-view, that sounds cool, maybe I'll check it out. That's my opinion, and it's good.
Yeah, you're right as far as, we've seen this plenty of times that people can shoot themselves into a work. One of the most memorable ones, was Matt Hardy and Edge, over the Lita stuff, and that was a shoot, and they had, he had legit beef with Edge. Vince was like, cool, let's make money off of it. You know what I mean? So, but how could you make money? How could Tony Khan make money off of a WWE guy getting more over in this whole thing than the number one contender for the AEW World Championship? Because many people are siding with Booker T from this, so this isn't making AEW look like the good guy here. You know what I mean? So I don't see how this is helping Tony Khan at all.
Yeah, it's not. That's another thing to the aspiring wrestler, the current wrestler, whatever. How does it pay off? What's the payoff? Exactly. And even in my personal squabbles I've had online, there could be a payoff to this if we're worked ourselves into a shoot, So, or you just shoot from the hip and you say what you feel, and it's free country, so go for it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.